because you're coming up first anyway. Can you? Yeah. Can you see it?
Yeah, I see it. And I've got my glasses.
Okay.
You want me to leave it here?
Yeah,
Are you not going to need it?
No, no, no.
Are you sure?
No.
Come here, girl. I got something I want you to tell you. I know you've been hurt by someone else. I can tell by the way that you carry yourself. But if you let me, woman, here's what I'll do. I'll take care of you. You know I've loved and lost the same as you. So you see, woman, I know just what you're going through. Yes, I do, baby. But if you let me, here's what I'll do. I'll take care of you. You don't ever have to worry. Well, sweet mama, you won't ever have to cry. No, you won't. I'll be standing right there beside you.
Dumelang. Ashe. Goeiemôre. Good morning. My name is Musimane Happy Majumo. I'll be the program director for today. We are about to start with our program for the Stakeholder Day of SIOC CDT for 2023. It's an event that we hold every year where we come and interact with our stakeholders, but mainly we come and share with them the work that we've been doing as SIOC CDT over the period of a year that has passed. And we also use the platform to allow our stakeholders to engage with us, to talk to us and share with us their experience of us. Ke tlo go bua Setswana, and I'm also going to speak in English. And if I do regain my Afrikaans data bundles, I'll also speak in Afrikaans. As long as the data bundles are there, I'll speak in Afrikaans. But without any waste of time, ladies and gentlemen, we are already behind in terms of our time. We were supposed to start at 10 o'clock, but due to circumstances beyond our control, we are slightly late. I'm going to start today's program by calling to the podium Pastor Mogoeng to come and give us the word so that we can receive the blessings from above. Pastor Mogoeng, if you could ascend to the stage, thank you very much.
Can I use your tablet or your laptop or your mini laptop or your mini skirt laptop? The Honorable Program Director of the day for this wonderful opportunity, the Business Sector Forum that we are having here today, the Thabazimbi Hospital CEO, the Hoi Head of Institution, Dr. Cooper, the old friend of mine, Mr. Blair, the owner of Spare and Total, a man who does not know color. I'm happy to see you here on behalf of Thabazimbi Chamber of Commerce. Honorable Jabum Tombeni, an expert in the mining industry. I would make the biggest mistake if I cannot recognize one of our own, Mr. Makusmela Pilan, who is serving in the board of this trust. I think he's pushing our interest as sons and daughters of the soil than his stomach. I will also recognize the availability of MMC Susuma from the district, Councillor Manyama at the local sitting, the mayor of Thabazimbi local municipality, Councillor Judy Mohapi, and all unmentioned but recognized paramount stakeholders who are here, the executive of SIOC. You are recognized in the sphere of the organogram of your portfolios. I'm about to finish, but so Febarona, I've seen your executive here, thank you so much. Turn with me in 2 minutes in the book of Genesis, chapter number 45, verse number 25. According to me and the registration of my chronometer, the event was supposed to start by 10 and now it's 5 minutes before 11, meaning I must just take 2 minutes and sit down. Councillor Cellulo, I did not see you. We have bathed so well today. You look more handsome. I love the power of water. My PA Dagalani from my office, thank you for coming and making sure that you're always here. Genesis 45, verse 25. Mr. Matlake, thank you very much. I can hear the smell of diesel when I see you and petroleum. They went up to their father Jacob in the land of Egypt, and they told him that his son is still alive. And the old man could not believe them. But when he see the wagons from Egypt, he was convinced. Close quote. Jacob was lied to by his sons 35 years back, trying to falsify the fallacy of the death of one of their brothers, Joseph. And now the old man's chapter was closed. Our chapter in Thabazimbi is closed, that the mines are closed, and we believed in those lies, either lies or either truths. Jacob also believed that his son is dead, and he was dead, but he never saw the grave. Many years back, after 35 years, his sons came back and say, your son Joseph is still alive. And the Bible says the old man was stunned at them, and he asked, what is the evidence? What is the evidence that as Thabazimbi we've got wealth, we are wealthy, we've got resources, the mine is closed, but we are still alive. The source of income is cut off, but we are still surviving. What is an evidence? An evidence is the replica caliber persona in the presence of SIOC. In my conclusion, Then the old man says, I want to see something that can make me believe that my son you said is dead is still alive. The mine you presented to us closed is still alive. And the Bible says when the old man see the wagons of protocol from the land of Egypt, he begin to believe the beginning that his son is still alive. When I saw you here, the executive of SIOC, I'm quite sure that the unemployment rate will go high. When I see you here, Honorable Mayor, today, I'm quite sure that leadership in our place will be provided. When I see you here, Mr. Blair, this morning, I'm quite sure that in this place we still have leaders. When I see you here this morning, Dr. Cooper, I still believe that our health and health of our people are fine. When I see you here today, Pilani, being part of the mafias in capitalism world of philanthropists, I still believe that our place of birth can become a better place. As I'm about to pray, Mr. Blade, the difficult part in life is to be responsible for lives of people because it has a huge accountability. SIOC is not about income, it's not about sitting allowance. Yeah, only I want the sitting and preaching allowance today. I want the preaching, amen. I want the preaching allowance today. You see, it's coming. Tagalan, invoice. Now, one day God will ask you, the responsibility is given to you. How many people have you developed? Take our kids to school, build RDPs more high, buy land, build a plant of solar system with our money. Let's have electricity in the absence of power. Buy cars of disaster that control the accidents on the road. Buy buildings for us and see that we can do. Nevertheless, we still need wheelchairs in the hospital as a deputy chairperson of the hospital board. Can we close our eyes and I pray? Father God, in the mighty name of Jesus, our personal Lord and Savior, I give you honor and I give you the glory for this wonderful day. Here are men and women who have left their families, their children, their businesses to be here at the interest of our community. Whoever will comment on the discussions and questioning and answer session, I pray for peace and stability and the mental soberness. Any other question that is not to build this community, I diminish it, I decline it, I close the throat and the vocal cords that will raise it because it's not going to build this community. Thank you, Father. In Jesus' name, amen. Salan Sindle.
Amen, Moruti. Re lebogile ka thapelo e ntle eo. If at any point in our lives, people forget that Thabazimbi once had a mine, SIOC CDT will remind them. The projects that it will undertake will remind them. The impact that those projects will have in the lives of the people of Thabazimbi will remind the people of Thabazimbi that here was once a mine. Ladies and gentlemen, those are not my words. Those are the words of the pastor. The pastor spoke a mouthful, but in that mouthful, I picked up these words. If at any point in our life, people forget that Thabazimbi once had a mine, SIOC will remind them. The projects will remind them. The impact will remind them. Thank you very much, Pastor, for those powerful words. Ladies and gentlemen, let me do the honorable thing of greeting our Honorable Mayor of Thabazimbi, Mayor Judith Mohapi, and also greet all councillors present from our local municipality of Thabazimbi. Let me also greet in our presence the chairperson of the board of Sishen Iron Ore Company Community Development Trust, Mr. Llewellyn Delport, together with the rest of the board members present here. Let me also greet officials from the various departments, the Department of Health, the Department of Social Development, the Department of Education. Let me also greet in our presence the CEO of SIOC CDT, Mr. Vusani Mali, together with the executive present here and the senior management present. Let me also greet all our stakeholders, our partners, ANOVA, Sanka, Love Life, DAX, you name them. You are all welcome to this event, a very important event in our calendar as SIOC CDT, because according to our values, we hold ourselves accountable to the community. And this is one way of doing it. We come here, we tell the community that we have done what we could with what we had. And where we could not achieve what we had intended to achieve, we would want to apologize. We shall do better next time, with your help, through collaborations with you, and in partnership with you. Without wasting any time, I'm going to call to the front Councillor Sello to give us a welcoming address, which is an official way of saying we are welcome in Thabazimbi. Councillor Sello, ke a leboga nkgonne.
Yeah. Good morning, everyone. Let me take this opportunity to greet you all in the name of Jesus. My name is Councillor Ponzo Sello from Thabazimbi Local Municipality. I have not come alone, as all you know. I have been led by the mayor and other councillors. Mine is very simple. I'm here to welcome you all and assure you you are safe here. Let us all take this part in this event and make this event a most successful one. If you've come here driving a car, don't worry about the car. You are safe. There is nothing that is going to happen to your car. We have made sure that this place is safe for today so that everyone who are here could feel safe. As Thabazimbi, we are a safe place to be. So let us take this opportunity to engage with the stakeholder and the SIOC CDT so that in the end of the event, we could come out having something fruitful, so that we could always remember and share with the young one who's coming behind. So let's take this opportunity to express ourselves in what we want in the next future for our own beneficiaries who are coming behind. I want you to feel free, and I thank you to be here. Thank you, Chairperson, and thank you, Program Director of the day. Let me take this time to say thank you all, and let us all feel free and have this time to engage. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Sello. Councillor Sello, I'm glad that you have bestowed a title of chairman on me. I was not a chairperson when I came here. I'm going to live here as a chairperson. But thank you very much also for reminding us that this is not a SIOC CDT event. This is an event of everybody gathered here. And those who are listening to us on the different platforms, on the radios, on Waterberg radio station, on Kurara FM, and on Tobela radio station, and also those who are watching us on the different social media platforms, Facebook and wherever else they are watching us from. This is our event. Feel free to interact with the officials of SIOC CDT present here today. This is a safe space. Say whatever you want to say in a respectful manner, at least. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to have a very interactive program. You are going to like it. It started off, Kamuruti, it was very serious. We have to be serious when Muruti is here. But as the program goes along, you will see that it will start to take a bit of a relaxed approach, and we are going to be very interactive. Let me call to the front at this point in time the chairperson of the board of SIOC CDT, to come and give us his chairperson's address to this year's Stakeholder Day. Mr. Delport.
Madam Mayor, councillors of Thabazimbi, board of CDT, all the dignitaries who were invited, especially the local communities who are the primary beneficiaries of the work we do, good morning and welcome to you all. Our mission of fostering stronger, sustainable, thriving, and prosperous communities is an all-encompassing ethos that guides our decisions, our projects, and every investment that we make. In all our efforts, we are driven to ensure that our initiatives have a sustainable ripple effect on the broader economy. Our community development strategy is aligned with the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, so that we may support a global upliftment of in-need communities and in doing so, significantly improve the lives of our beneficiaries. We carry out our mission, our vision and mandate through our values. And these are that we are committed to building healthy, trustworthy relationships. We are inclusive and transparent in decision-making. We are accountable to our stakeholders, and we are compassionate towards our beneficiaries. In this, we aim to boost employment, promote entrepreneurial endeavors, and amplify skill development, ensuring that our communities are not just recipients, but active contributors to their own growth. In a very rapidly evolving world, we are bound to face a host of challenges. By remaining agile, responsive, and ever ready to adapt to the emergent needs of our communities, be it in the face of global pandemics, in economic downturns like what we're going through now, or any other unseen adversities, we are steadfast in our mission to effect positive change that will continue to benefit individuals and communities for generations to come. Our journey, with all its intricacies and challenges, are about real people, real aspirations, and tangible impact. Many of our achievements would not have been possible without our partnerships and our collaborations. Such relationships with organizations that share our ambitions embody our belief in the power of unity, of innovation, and of shared vision. And as I move towards the end, as we look to the future, one in which we foresee decreased poverty, increased and improved access for all, I thank our stakeholders, our partners, our donors, and all the members of our team. You are the cornerstone of our success and the driving force for all our endeavors. Your unwavering faith fuels our passion. And in conclusion, ladies and gentlemen, may we continue to build, inspire, transform, and may we do this one life at a time, one project at a time, one community at a time, in service to the beneficiaries and to the rest of the country as a whole. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chairperson. Chairperson also said a mouthful, but there are two lines that you must take from what he said. He said, we don't want our communities to become passive recipients of our assistance or interventions. We want them to be active contributors to the development of their own. One line, that's what the chairperson said. If you struggle to hear the big speech that he said, but it was quite a succinct speech. The next line he said, and this is me now paraphrasing and saying it in my own words, stakeholder relations is not an impediment to our work. Stakeholder relations is our work at SIOC CDT. That's what we do. We take pride in interacting with our stakeholders. Thank you very much, Chairperson. Can you beat the Chairperson, please, a round of applause? Ladies and gentlemen, we have a live feed to the different radio stations that I mentioned earlier, and we are also linked to social media and all of that. So we are using equipment that needs to obtain signal. I'm not going to ask that you must switch off your phones, because I realize we have doctors in our midst. There might be emergencies that they cannot avoid. So I'm going to ask you nicely that you put your phones on silent so that we can hear the speakers when they speak. if you can just do that for us. Thank you so much. Without wasting any time, I'm going to call upon to the stage the CEO of Sishen Iron Ore Company Community Development Trust, Mr. Fusani Mali, to come and give us a performance overview for the period under review. Mr. Mali, can you bring him to the stage with a clap of hands? Maybe he will rush to the stage.
Yes, there you go. Can you just... Can you, everybody hear me? Okay. Thank you for the welcome, Councillor Silo. My chairman has already done the honors with the protocols, so I'd say that they're observed, but we feel especially excited to be in Thabazimbi. I think we last did a stakeholder day in Thabazimbi at the Kumba Bioscope Hall, maybe 2015, 2016, if I recall. Well, we've been visiting Thabazimbi, and we've walked quite a special journey with this municipality and its people. But we're glad to be here and sharing our stakeholder report back today. Just before I get in the slides, just to remind you of the purpose of today, it gives us an opportunity to first of all reflect on the performance of the prior year, which is full year 2022, plus the information that we're able to share for year-to-date 2023. So we're going to give you last year's information and the latest information of 2023. You know that our year ends in December. That is the feedback stage. What is even more critical is that the engagement that we're looking forward to is that you will take the information that we're sharing and reflect on it and ask questions for clarity where it's needed, and also give us your observations and your comments. And where we can improve. And for us as SIOC CDT particularly, where you see opportunities of collaboration in your personal, from a personal perspective and from your organizational perspective. We're looking forward to that kind of conversation today. And those of you that have attended stakeholder days before, today is a little bit different for a whole lot of reasons. I'm just here to give a brief overview of the performance data, and I'm going to allow my colleagues in the core pillars of SIOC CDT, finance, and also projects to come up and give a more detailed exposition of what we have done, where our highlights are, and where our disappointments have been. And then I'll come back to conclude, and then we'll have that question and answer session, which, as I've said, is the most important one. So with that then, we feel welcome and thank you once again. I'm going to start. I hope you can see the slides. Shimi has already said that we are live, where we are live. And we are also going to be live later on today on our social media platforms with our social impact report, a very detailed document which sets out in broader detail than today the information that we're going to cover, which will give each one of you, and it's interactive, it's now online, so we're not printing and killing trees and printing paper. So we're quite excited about that development. We're really serious about embracing the digital world, as you will see in the slides. But I just want to start. Is this working? Sorry, this is supposed to move. Oh, there you go. Okay. Thank you. Just to confirm first, I mean, you've seen these words a number of times before. They haven't really changed. What we aspire to do is to influence the sustainability of household income. In Thabazimbi, we've seen what could potentially happen, or what actually happens when mining operations stop. We were set up by our donor in 2006, Kumba Iron Ore. We all know that in 2015, Kumba Iron Ore took a decision to cease operations in Thabazimbi. And the idea and the objective behind the establishment of SIOC CDT was that in which we are involved in, which is investing in community development, should outlive mining operations. So we've seen that. So we have decided that, I mean, that's a big ask. We have decided that through our approach, which we'll discuss later in our partnership aspirations, we're going to influence this from the point of view of a household, to say what is it that we can do to ensure that households in our communities remain resilient, remain able to provide food on the table, to take children to school and the like. And we decided that, in fact, with consultation with our beneficiaries, that we can probably pull these levers in education, our education initiatives, which a lot of you are familiar with, enterprise development, which you are now especially familiar with Project Khodiso and the like, and through health and welfare and emergent needs. Now, health and welfare is the cover-all that says if we're going to be taking children to school so that they can educate themselves and develop skills that allow them to be employable and also to be economically active, and then we also help our SMEs, our businesses, to be more resilient, to be able to earn an income with which they can employ others and that will also feed their families. We have a bigger chance of increasing the pool of economic participation and maybe stability. I don't want to say independence because that's an even bigger ask, but people must be able to earn a living so that whether their mines close, people remain economically active so they can feed their families. So that's what we're trying to do at SIOC CDT. And if we provide interventions in health and dealing with where we can, assisting where a community suffers shocks to make sure that the community itself is maybe cushioned from the rigors of natural disasters and what have you, or pandemics, as you saw in our response to COVID-19. Then, if you look at the complete picture, in fact, we have a nice house that encapsulates what I've just said. We have a better chance of looking beyond the life of Sishen Mine and Kolomela Mine and say, okay, perhaps in the time that Kumba was operating, we're able to develop this reserve, and now we have built sustainable communities that can continue to survive after that. So I know it's a long story, but that's what our vision, our mission, and our mandate is. So we achieve this by investing in these projects and initiatives through the processes that we're going to describe, that my colleagues are going to describe. Now, I need to also remind the House who our beneficiary communities are. It's a very important place to park because whilst we may be perceived to have grown, I think we have, we'll share that also, our trust deed is very specific about who our communities are. Fortunately, we are in our communities. You can imagine that a neighboring municipality that is not within this area of participation would feel, because our impact, I think, is being felt, and we're happy with that, and we'll talk more about that. But these are our areas, and just maybe some high-level information about how we have done in terms of a measure that I don't quite like, but it's relevant. How much have we spent? I mean, for those that have been walking the journey with us for a while, remember that how much was spent or is to be spent in Thabazimbi has been a bone of contention for a while. We've learned quite a lot. How much is spent is usually an indicator that there's activity. And it is what we call an indicator, a legal indicator that comes at the end. What is more important to look at is what impact have we achieved with whatever we've spent? You know, so once you start looking at the world in those eyes, things become a bit clearer about what needs to happen. And we spoke last year about embracing the Sustainable Development Goals. I'll go into that a little bit. But anyway, this is still relevant. So in Gamagara, our year-to-date number, which means spent to date, I think these numbers are accurate to September, to end of September. We spent 32 million. Last year we spent 45 million. That's for the full year of, and this is important so that beneficiaries can see that some effort is placed in this investment that we talk about. And it's an annual thing. But I'm just going to give you last year's numbers and year-to-date numbers. Khazikgonyane, which is the Kuruman area, 32 million, and this year, year-to-date. Last year, we spent 18 million there, so this is a big improvement. Jomrolong, which is just beyond Kuruman into the more rural areas of the Joint Taolo-Gaetsewe municipality. Our number to date is 31 million. Last year, we spent 34. So there's a possibility that these numbers at the end of the year will have improved. Tsansabane, we spent 22 million year to date. Last year was 19 million. And Thabazimbi is a focus area. We have said many times in our stakeholder engagements in the wards here in Thabazimbi that because we have such a spread out footprint, we do realize that we can't spend the same amount in the same municipality. And it does happen that certain municipalities get a lot more attention in one year than the other. This is last year and this year is potentially Thabazimbi's year. There's a lot of projects that we have closed that we're going to talk about that you know very well. So the numbers this year are 33 million to date. We spent 40 last year. So you can see that the pace has picked up. And the reason why I want to dwell on this is a few years ago when we were spending 9, 10, 15 in Thabazimbi, the questions were asked. Why is Thabazimbi not getting your attention? Where is our, I'm going to make a joke, our 2 billion or whatever the number was. We've walked past that stage. But this now shows that we're picking up pace. Now, if you take the consolidated picture, you will see that as we are growing as an organization, as we are fine-tuning our focus and understanding better what the priorities are, this lagging indicator just says, if this is how much they're spending and they understand what it is that we as a community need, the likelihood is, if this is sustained, we're going to see impact. And we are looking forward to having conversations about impact in the later years. Now, just a little bit on this. This is a slide that we put up last year. So what we did, and we'll talk about our journey and how we got here, but this is our community development strategy. It sets out our impact agenda, and it talks about what our focus areas are. We have health and wellness, we have quality education, we have enterprise development and job creation, and we have what we call immediate needs. Now, I'm not going to go back into each one of these, but what this slide sets out, and you'll see it in our social impact report, and I encourage you guys to log in. I know that we have an active following in all our platforms, and engage with that document. It gives you quite a detailed account of how we know that we will be getting to what we wanted to get to. So when we come back to report in our stakeholder engagement days, not today, the town hall sessions that we have, this is what we're going to be telling you about. We'll be telling you how well we are doing with, let's just take quality education, how we're expanding opportunities, how we increasing the supply of suitable teachers. And I mean, if we look at health and wellness, and you've seen Ria Fola, our mobile health unit, how well are we reducing maternal mortality through our efforts at Northern Clinic and other programs. And then when we come back to report, we're reporting on tangible data on lives changed. Not rand spent, but lives changed. If we're saying we are ending AIDS, TB, and combating hepatitis as a subset in health, we're going to say this was our baseline, and this is where we are, and this is where we are going. So that now this changes the conversation, because what the community needs is tangible results, not words, but what the results of the action that we talk about is. So the numbers tell a story, but the real story is the detail. And these are the indicators. These words here mean something. Each one of these words will give you a clear sense of this is what we would like for you to hold us accountable for. And in partnership with you guys, this is what we want to achieve. So this is a very important slide. It is there in that book, and we want to engage in it and understand from your perspective, is this useful? Because we think that whilst this is our strategy, with your contribution, we are going to be able to refine it and answer the question, does this serve our beneficiaries? We think it does, but we can always confirm it. It's like the IDP iterative process. Every year you go and check with whether the stuff in there is still relevant. So that's what we want to do here. I'm just going to talk a little bit on our governance structure because I don't want to steal the thunder of of my colleagues. So I'm going to go into the detail. It's also important to reflect on the promise that we made all of those years when we announced that SIOC CDT was going to be coming to do community development directly. When we're in partnership with Kgodisang, we did say that we were centralizing our implementation, and we promised the community of Thabazimbi that we have confidence in our ability to do that because we have a strong governance system. And the strong governance system is reflected on what we have now on the board, which is my bosses to the left, the SIOC CDT board, a mix of experience and skills that ensures that all the governance principles that I negotiated with the then mayor, that I continue to negotiate with the council every time I visit, are intact. So we are in a very good position to ensure that all the controls and all the corporate governance processes that you would expect from an organization that is husbanding your wealth are in place. So this is a board. They're here to my left. I'm not going to do my chairman's job and introduce them. You know them, you interact with them. They're still here. I'll talk a little bit about the committees. On the right-hand side of the slide is the management team. I'm glad to announce that that vacant circle there with the head of investments has been filled. She will be starting in January. So from January, we're going to have a full team to continue focusing on the mandate that I've spoken about and to deliver, and importantly, to be available to engage with you, our beneficiaries, because we're here to serve. But the board provides oversight, provides guidance, it provides leadership, and it makes sure that as the ultimate body that is accountable for how we are managing your trust fund, your wealth, they are here to perform that role. So we are very proud of that. We also have board committees. In fact, you'll see that the structure is similar to a listed company to a large extent, but we need this because SIOC CDT is handling quite a substantial trust fund, or fund rather, And it is very important, as you have seen, that we stick to strict and proper governance structures. What is also important is that we have board members that come from the communities. You are well aware of our community representative trustee election process, which gave us very active board member, Mr. Dumisang Pilana. I'm not allowed to call him Kuzu because he's my boss, but he's here. And he has joined the board. The board is a unitary structure. We have 4 board members at the moment. We are missing 1 because we've got 5 municipalities. We are going to go into an election process again next year. But the communities is well represented in the board. In fact, the trust deed of SAOC CDT says half community representation and half a mix of independents and donor nominees. So they are here, they're all here. I'm actually glad we have a full board presence today, and they're here to interact with you if you have anything that you want to engage with after the session. So this just is a confirmation that you have nothing to worry about. From a governance point of view, we will continue to deliver as we've been doing for the past 13, 14 years. So I'm going to hand over to my colleague, Mrs. Tanya Duvenache, who's our head of finance, our CFO, to take you through what I used to do a very bad job of, talking about the finances of SAOC CDT. Today, you are going to get it from an experienced finance person, and then after her, you will speak, Mr. Tao Mutsago will present projects, our highlights, and there'll be some clips of some of our highlights, and I'm just pleading with you to be patient with us. They're little short clips, and they give a little bit more detail on the project highlights that we want to share. We'll be back to conclude, but please just sit back and get into the detail with my colleagues, and thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much to the CEO for that very structured presentation. I'm going to call upon Tanya to come and take us through our finances and investments. Ms. Tanya. Can we also give her a round of applause? Yes. Good, good.
Okay. Thank you, Shimi, and thank you and welcome to all of our guests of honor today. There's a much more exciting part of this presentation today that will follow after the finances, but I guess the finances are important, so let's go jump into that. And I think firstly what I would like to do is just to give you a brief explanation of how we actually manage the funds that we receive. So majority of the funds that we receive are obviously the dividends that we receive from Kumba. Okay, thank you, Shami. And the trust deed provides that 70% of that income we can spend on community development initiatives, which are all carefully informed through our community development strategy, which Vusani spoke to earlier on. So this community development philosophy is also informed by insights that we gather from you as our community members through our community engagements and those activities that are aligned with our activities permitted by the trust deed. Now, the remaining 30% of this trust income, we invest then to generate additional returns. And that is mainly to augment this dividend that we receive from Kumba. This ensures that we build up a sufficient reserve fund to continue with our community development initiatives after the closure of mines and, when the mine or Kumba does not declare any dividends. There we go, thank you. All right, so this graphs give us an overview of our project spend, over the past 9 years. So you can see that there was quite a a significant decrease between 2017 and 2019. And that was due to various reasons. I think one of the main reasons was that we didn't receive any dividends in 2016. And it was also the time when we consolidated all of the BTs within SIOC CDT. We then had to clear up the backlog, all of the history projects, and it gave us an opportunity just to find a base to start implementing this newly developed CDS, our Community Development Strategy. And you can see from 2020 onwards, we started increasing in our PBA spend, and we've been averaging in the area of about 200 million since 2021. And we are very confident that this spend is still going to increase in the years to come. And Tao will speak to that, on our plans for next year as part of his presentation. So, our total project spend in 2023 amounted to approximately 190 million. And of that 190 million, 108 million was spent on education. So we spent 57% of our total project spend was spent on this focus area. And once again, when Tao goes into the detail, he will touch on the initiatives and the impact that we've reached, through that spend. Naturally, transformation is part of our supply chain management processes, is paramount, as part of our development strategy, and we do endeavour to contract with our local suppliers as far as we can. So 31% of all our procurement activities based on RAND spend was spent within our local communities, where we contracted, with local suppliers. And 92% of all our spend was spent on BBBE compliant suppliers. Thank you. I think I need to go one back. This is a slide that shows us an overview of our investment portfolio. So looking at our investment portfolio, the portfolio consists out of some privately held investments and investments through fund managers, where we invest in bonds, private equity, local equities, and offshore investments. So at the end of the day, we are diversifying our investment portfolio to ensure that we achieve maximum returns and also to mitigate, investment risks. So our private investments include investments in the AHA Kathu Hotel, in our office park in Kathu, and then we also have some minority shareholding in Airlink and in a solar park in Kathu. The other investments that you can see on the right-hand side of the slide is our fund managed assets, which is a mix of bonds and private equity, local equities, and offshore investments. Okay. So in general, looking at our financial performance, our dividends decreased during the 2022 financial year with around 51%. We received 773 million in dividends versus 1.5 billion during the previous under review. Although our dividend decreased, we received good returns on our excess cash, and our interest income increased with around 84% when compared to the previous year. We earned 197 million in 2022 in interest income versus 107 million during the previous year. So our cash reserves also increased with 22% during 22, and we had a cash balance of 3.3 billion at the end of 2022. We are now in the process of investing 1 billion rand in our investment portfolios, which will decrease our liquid cash reserve to around 2.9 million at the end of 2023. So looking at our financial position and our investment portfolios in particular, the investment in SIOC is expected to decrease slightly from about 4.3 billion to 4 billion at the end of this financial year, while our investments in our other portfolios is expected to increase, mainly due to the additional injection into our other investment portfolios. So looking at the net asset growth, our financial position is also healthy, and looking at our audited results at the end of 2022, our net assets are sitting at about 8.6 billion at the end of 22 versus the 7.2 billion in the previous year. So this is just a brief overview of the financial results and financial performance of the trust, but there's more detail included in the social impact report, and I would really urge you guys to go and have a look at that and pose any questions you might have or clarity to us so that we can clarify that for you. I'm now ready to give over to Tao. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Tanya. Is it only me who at some point when Tanya was presenting, I started feeling or hearing the voice of Brian Hirsch from SAFM? Punching those numbers and you wonder, what do they mean? So I'm gonna ask you to please hold on to your thoughts. I know there are aspirant accountants here and qualified accountants amongst us. Hold on to that. I know you want to ask questions. Hold on to your questions. There'll be a question and answer session where you can ask questions about the numbers that Tanya has been punching here in front of us. Thank you very much, Tanya. Let's give you again another round of applause, guys. And now I'm going to come to the more exciting part, the projects. The CEO did say it is not the money we spend, it is the impact that we get out of it. It's not the projects we do, it's the impact that we get out of those projects. Now, the gentleman who's going to speak about all of those is Mr. Tao Mutsaho. Can you give him a round of applause, please?
All right. Good afternoon. It's still morning. Good morning to you all. My name is Tao Mutsago. I'm head of projects in SIOC CDT, and I'd like to thank Tanya firstly for assuring us that there's enough reserves to spend on development. Thank you so much. So I'm not going to talk a lot. I know Pastor Mokhweng mentioned that we need to ask ourselves questions about how many people have we developed, how much impact have we created. So this presentation I'm going to give is just to share a few of those highlights on our flagship projects, keeping in mind that a lot of that is in the social impact report, which we continue to encourage you to go through once it becomes ready. So what I'm going to share here is reflections, like I said, on the flagship projects, and it's going to be very interactive. I'm going to invite, in fact, I'm going to show a few videos so that we can hear from the beneficiaries themselves, some of whom are leaders of institutions that we're working with. So I'm going to talk less and, show more on the impact that we are creating. But starting with education, there's a Chinese philosopher who says, if you're planning for 1 year, you must plant rice. If you're planning for 10 years, you must plant trees. If you're planning for 100 years or a century, you need to educate children. So this is some of the, the quotes and ideas that guide us in our ideation and our planning. And it influences a lot in what we have in our education strategy that we're going to be sharing with you now. I'm not going to dwell too much into the issues around what success looks like, because the CEO has already touched on it when he showed the will of our education or community development strategy. But I just want to share a few highlights, starting with what we do for our learners. A lot of that focused on grade 12s, what we have done for students that we're supporting with our bursary program, and also what we have done in strengthening the system, which is the education system. So if you think about the planting of trees or the long-term game, it's the system that we need to strengthen. So we need to keep that at the back of our minds. So during the year under review, including now, we have supported about 2,000, let's say 3,000 learners that are doing mathematics and science, because we're promoting STEM-related programs. Because we know that that creates more chances for these learners to become employable, and the amounts are shared in there. But the idea for us is to give them more conduct time, more learning time, so that we increase their chances of succeeding with their NSC exam. In addition to learner support, direct learner support, we have a bridging program that targets those learners that would not have made it first time, we give them a second chance, and we have two of these programs, one in Cape Town with Stellenbosch University, and another one in the Northern Cape. And our target is for entry into university, and another one targets entry into universities of technology, because we understand that we need to target as many as possible, and the requirements are not the same in the different institutions. So those are the numbers that we have targeted and the opportunities we have given. We have 43 that are at Stellenbosch University, and some you do know, here in Thabazimbi we have about 5 of them, and some of these children that you know, the parents, some of the parents are here. You are probably one of them, and yeah, so in the Uppington one, the one that targets University of Technology, we have 50 of them, and we are confident that these 50 plus 43 are going to make it into university. So this is a flagship program that we want to continue, and just tomorrow we have a board meeting where we are asking for additional funding to increase these opportunities. And if we get support, we're going to have more and more of these learners participating. And the idea is to get them to get a chance into higher education and get more employable. And thinking about our bursary program, this is one of our flagship that a lot of you are familiar with. We have, during this year up to now, up to September, we have had 218 opportunities. And if we get support from the board, this number is going to increase to 420 from tomorrow onwards. And we have our colleagues here from DAX that are going to be supporting us. They have supported us successfully to run with this 218. And we know that they are going to do well in giving them, especially the psychosocial support that they need to succeed. Because it's one thing to get access into higher education, but it's another to complete and graduate. We have a literacy program, which is a program to support young people to get into the classrooms to support foundation phase teachers with improving literacy. And for us, this is a double sword that creates employment and also improves literacy in our classrooms. If we get support from the board tomorrow, we are likely to triple this number to 90 as we partner with the Department of Education and UNICEF, especially in the Northern Cape side, to improve literacy. We know that literacy is a challenge in our communities based on the PEARS results that we saw earlier this year. Then if I move over to support for teachers, which is now the planting of the trees and the planning for the centuries, strengthening the system, we have had opportunities of about 195 teachers and school leaders that have been trained. Some could be here with us. I know one who's my very close friend, Mr. Mokotsi, the principal of Rinpan, who recently graduated from our ADE in school leadership and management. There's quite a number of them. We have seen 66 of them graduating in Kuruman, and there's more that are coming. I think the CEO earlier spoke about our desire to see more and more qualified teachers in our system. And this is in line with SDGs, because we also know that qualified teachers are more likely to, to give us better learner outcomes in the classroom. So we have a BEd program that we are running with the Rhodes University, and this targets the critical subjects of mathematics, foundation phase, and English. We also have a flagship project to capacitate practitioners who are in ECD centers. We have seen 170 opportunities for these guys, and we have actually seen 102 of them graduating this year alone. And 50 of them are from here. They were attending here at Waterberg TVET College, while the other ones are from the Northern Cape. So this is something that we are proud of. The other project, which is a flagship for us that we inherited from the previous regime in Thabazimbi, was the completion of the Mabokobedi Hall. We spoke to the mayor earlier on, and she was saying she's very proud of this hall. And we're going to share a video from the school principal of Mabokobedi High School, just to hear from her how she's experiencing it and what this investment means to her. So over to you for the video.
the principal of Mabokopedi Secondary School. Currently, we have 1,191 learners. Mabokopedi was opened in 1944 as a primary school at Easterberg, and then it relocated here in Ruhorogile in 1996. When I arrived at Mabokopedi, we were using 7 classes because we were having 198 learners. So each class was catering 30 learners in each class. It was very strenuous because we have to move from one class to another. We have to prepare 7 files for each and every center. Previously, we were using grounds, and then that was not conducive, especially for practical subjects like life orientation. So now with the hall, we know that we take the learners to the hall to do their practical activities, as that hall is also a multi-purpose center. In examination, the learners must be 1 meter apart from each other because we cater all learners in one center. Like this year, I'm having 151 learners. It's very easier for us to manage the center with 1 file, and it will be easier for us to collect the learner scripts at the same time, and then also the learners were free than before. So through this hall, we managed to make sure that examination center is properly planned. We managed to display time on the wall, and every learner was able to see. As the principal of Mabokopedi, I really appreciate SAYO for building the hall for the school, because previously the school didn't have a hall. Even when we host parents' meeting, we're hosting on an open space. Sometimes when it's raining, we have to close the meeting before. Now we know with this hall, we're going to use it. Even the community, we are going to assist them. And with this hall also, we are going to raise funds for the school so that we can maintain the building. So I really appreciate what SAYO has done to us. And I know in future, they are going to assist us so that we can remove our learners from the streets, from drugs. With this hall, we are going to do lots of activities.
I'm Bama Edward. I'm teaching mathematics at Kroonvlei Secondary School. I'm a member of the school management team, and I'm responsible for maintenance section. That's why maybe you find me working with the guys who come in to facelift the school. We had a lot of challenges because the infrastructure was very old. I remember just after lesson one afternoon, the ceiling fell, and fortunately, learners were out of the class. But such an incident, if it had happened when learners were in class, we could have had some casualties. We also had a situation where the toilets were deplorable. The toilets that we had were just but bad. Also, the reticulation system for the sewerage was really bad. So with such challenges, learning obviously becomes difficult for the children. And also those who are facilitating the teaching process, it becomes difficult for them. When I joined the school, we only had a 10,000 liter tank. An institution like a school, it needs to always have about 3 days water in reserve at any given time. But because of the situation which was not conducive, we had only one 10,000 liter tank, which wouldn't last a day. But When SIOC came in, we now boast of around 150 liters of water, which will be in the school at any given time, which means should there be a breakdown, we have ample time to have the facilities fixed. SIOC came as a blessing for us because really we had just finished a program of rehabilitating the toilets because it was really bad. But when SIOC came in, they changed up the setup, and also they gave us what I can refer to as state-of-the-art facilities, considering we are in a farming area where we have facilities which are, I think, the most primitive. But as of now, our school has got nearly the best facilities. When it comes to the classroom area, really, we had a challenge. We had a lot of learners in one class. It was very hot in the classes. It was very hot in the cubicles that we were using as staff rooms. But now it's air conditioned, and the provision of the classes that came in, it alleviated a lot of pressure on the existing 5 classes that we had. The educators, if you go to the staff room, it's unfortunate, I might be a bit sarcastic, but they wouldn't want to move from the staff room to go for lessons because of the level of comfort that they now enjoy in the staff room. But being professionals, they are doing their duties. We are in a farm setting, and normally schools in farm settings are neglected, and no one recognizes the importance of the resources, the human resource that stay in such vicinities. SIOC came handy, and they really uplifted our school. On behalf of Kroonvlei Secondary School management, on behalf of the school governing board, I want to say thank you. May God bless you, and we want to continue this partnership. On our part as educators, we promise you very good results so that the black South African child can be taken to greater heights, especially with the fact that we are dealing with farm children. Thank you very much, SIOC. Continue doing the good work, and our partnership should continue. I thank you.
Of impact we wanted to see when we were conceptualizing programs such as this. And I think what's more exciting is that when we executed programs like this, we did not do it alone. We did it with the people of Thabazimbi. We had a lot of local content involved in the building of that kind of infrastructure. So we're grateful and excited in understanding that the end users are quite happy to see the kind of infrastructure we're building for them. The other thing I should mention is that we're not done at Kroonvlei. I must just say that the other day when we took our board members to the school, they were not very impressed in the kind of conditions that the learners are staying in those hostels. So there is an appetite and a desire to go back and further improve that infrastructure, particularly the hostels, to improve the dignity of those learners at Kroonvlei Secondary School. In fact, we have actually identified the school as one of our schools that we think can be a school of excellence. So the upgrades are meant to basically achieve that and ensure that the school complies with the norms and standards of the Department of Basic Education. So we're happy with that kind of investment. Just moving on to the health and wellness focus area, just some few highlights. And again, I'm not going to talk about what success looks like. The CEO touched on that already when he presented the overview of the CDS. So I'm going to get quickly into some highlights on one of the areas that is usually neglected is that area of people living with disabilities. And I'm happy to indicate that we have invested some time and resources in Thabazimbi to try and establish and understand profiling all people that are known to be living with disabilities, and we have successfully developed a database. We now know that roughly we have 256 people that are living with disabilities. A lot of these are children. This process for us is quite important so that we can influence the allocation of resources and also influence ensuring that there is inclusivity in what we do and what other stakeholders do for these people that are living with disabilities. And the idea is that we don't leave anyone behind. So we have, as part of our program, we have ensured that those that needed devices to support their independence and mobility, we donated 109 of them, 45 of which were hearing aids to support the audiology, and also 64 wheelchairs to support mobility. Then we have our flagship that is very popular with many of you, our flagship Riafola program that we have rolled out. And I think the guys from the Department of Health will recall that when we introduced Riafola for the first time, that was around 2018, this mobile bus you see here was meant for the Department of Education. Then there was ups and downs about who's going to own it and who's going to allocate resources. And I think that fight was a blessing in disguise, because we were then able to ensure that we roll it out across all our communities. So we have, for the past 3 years or so now, we have seen that it has helped us a lot in deploying healthcare to the most underserved areas in the Northern Cape, here in Thabazimbi. And I think we should be proud to mention that we have decided as an organization, with the support of the board, that we're going to augment it. We're going to multiply it by 3, and Thabazimbi is going to have its own mobile clinic, and JTG is going to have their own mobile clinic, as well as Thabazimbi having their own. So we're going to have 3 of these type of mobile clinics, which helps us to widen the service focus that we're going to be giving to our community. But just for now, to report on some of the numbers, we have, so far in the year up to September, we have seen 11,000, almost 12,000 patients that we have screened. In the screening, we get to be able to treat some of them on site, but a lot of them we refer to specialists in our partnership with the Department of Health. But what we also know is that the demand for this kind of service out there is huge, which is why we have made a deliberate decision to expand the service offering to include more buses. The one thing that we are introducing, which you have seen as a dire need in schools, is integrated school health. This is nothing new. The guys from the Department of Health are aware of a program like this, but obviously, because of lack of resources, we have, together with the department itself, not been able to deploy this kind of dedicated services in schools. But a program like this is quite crucial to eliminate barriers to learning. We have a lot of learners who we always think they are bewitched because they can't hear when they're in the classroom, or they can't see when they're in the classroom. A program like this successfully screens learners, diagnoses them, and deals with their problems so that we level the playing field for every learner in the classroom. So we're really proud of that. We launched this program in Kuruman a few weeks ago, and we understand that in Thabazimbi, the one mobile clinic is going to be, and this was a request from the department, the one mobile clinic is going to be dealing with both the schools and the communities. But because of the vastness in our JTG and Tsansabane area, we had to have a dedicated mobile unit for schools. One area we are very proud of as well is the maternal and child health. I want to talk about what success looks like there, because the CEO has already touched on it. But it's an area that is quite close to our hearts. And we, over the past few years, including now this year, we have supported the department with procurement of equipment, which is important to reduce or eliminate maternal and child mortality. In fact, we were told that at some point around 2011, Limpopo as a province was one of the worst performers in terms of those indicators of maternal and neonatal mortality. But lately, because of interventions from government, from ourselves and other stakeholders, that number has significantly improved. We were told by the MEC that Limpopo is now third in the country in terms of that, those two metrics. And we want to continue to support to ensure that we keep the numbers exciting as they are right now. Another program we have been focusing on is clearing backlogs. We know there are a number of backlogs in the system. One of those is ophthalmology backlog, which is people with cataract complications who lose their vision, and yet there's a very small procedure that could actually help them to restore that vision. So we have been partnering with the department for the past few years, and this year alone, I think we had set a target of 700, removing 700 cataracts. We have already achieved 651 of those. We just have 49 more that we need to do in one tour. And Dr. Cooper, we're appealing to you to allow us just one more tour so that we can meet that 700. We know the need is dire. So we will talk to you outside of this, but we're just appealing with you to allow us one more tour in the remainder of the year so that we can save mostly the elderly people who are in need of this. There's more, Chair, there's more need to clear backlogs. In fact, when we were talking to the 3 district directors, in the 3 districts we operate in, we were told that there is a huge orthopedic backlog. And I think it's everywhere. Even in Gauteng, when you go there, you find a lot of patients lying in wards for months before they can get an orthopedic surgeon to come in and operate them. The situation is the same in our communities, and we will in the future bring a proposal to come support the department to clear those backlogs, especially in our communities. Other areas of backlogs include, I think, gynecology and also oncology. But we understand those are specialist areas that the department have to play. But when they need our support, we would be happy to ensure that our communities are receiving the kind of service that they need. And TB and lung health, the one thing I just want to mention, ladies and gentlemen, is that prevalence of TB, especially TB, is very huge. In the country, we are told that there's 1%, 1 in every 100 screened turns positive for TB. In our communities, you can see the number there. Since we introduced and launched this program, we've seen that 11 in every 100 turn out to be TB positive. So there is a dire need, and we're going to continue to support government in ensuring that in our communities, we identify each and every case, we put that case on treatment, and we trace it, because that's also one of the areas that has been lacking. But those are some of the achievements. I don't want to talk too much about the youth centers. This is a popular program, but I want to give a chance to the nursing manager of Thabazimbi Hospital to just share some insights on what we have been doing with them. Mrs. Rampolu, please play the video.
My name is Rokiwara Bongulu. I am the Deputy Manager Nursing for Thabazimbi Hospital. SIOC CDT donated the medical equipment that will assist the hospital to improve on maternal and child health care services. The mobile X-ray machine that we have received from SIOC, it cost 1.4 million. And then we have also received the 6 patient monitors with a cost of 224,000, and we have received the blood gas machine with a cost of around 250,000. Previously, we were diagnosing the diabetes ketoacidosis only with checking the blood sugar and the urine. The X-ray machine, we were having one, and that X-ray machine, it was moving from different ward to another up to nasal. But now, because we have got an extra X-ray machine, we will be having a dedicated X-ray machine for our nursery maternity complex. Now it is going to help even in the reduction in waiting time of the patient. The blood gas machine, it will help the patient and the hospital, especially the doctors, to diagnose the severity of disease. During the month of August, it was a rural health. We were partnering with SIOC CDT, and they were training the doctors and the nurses on how to improve maternal and child health care services. To the board members of SIOC and the management of SIOC, thank you very much for your support. As the hospital, we have managed to achieve our ideal hospital and our OHSC status because of your support. Thank you very much.
Program Director, as I conclude on our health and wellness portfolio, I just want to quote an Arabic proverb that says, for he who has health, he has hope, and he who has hope has everything. So programs like this are quite important for us because we know if the well-being of our communities is improved and is intact, then the possibilities are endless for each and every one of those individuals. Let me quickly move on to enterprise development and quickly talk about our beekeeping program, which has supported 30 agripreneurs, mostly in the Northern Cape, where we've been donating about 60 beehives for each of those so that they can participate in the bee market. The good thing about a program like this is that we did not leave these guys on their own, but we went into the program with an off-take already. So we lessened their burdens. So this is something that we're also proud of, and going into the future, we want to scale on programs like these ones. Then the popular Khodisho is something that is meant to support 50 SMMEs. There are about 7 of them that are benefiting already from this program through funding from SIOC CDT with the support of the board. And we want to see all the 50 in this first round benefiting from this program so they can grow their businesses, they can help us to create new jobs, and they can also make money for themselves and bring money home, as the CEO indicated in his definition of our theory of change. And I think we also have one more video from one of the agripreneurs who have benefited, so let's hear from him testifying.
My name is Letlotlo Modise. We are based in Manyeding and we are here at Mwedi Farms. This is where we grow our vegetables. We grow a variety of crops in this particular place, like your cabbage, your green peppers, and we change that seasonally. I'm what is known as an agricultural specialist. It's a term that I love to give to myself, as I touch a bit here and there in agriculture. I do a bit of consulting, I teach and I assist the community and the youth to get to understand agricultural practices and the sector. So I teach, like I said as well, young kids to get into agriculture, to plant, to grow vegetables and so forth. Another thing that I'm also doing is now I do farm designs within the agricultural sector. So I do a lot of things here and there. I've been in the industry for the past 7 years. I started actually in 2016. And I started learning how to plant different vegetables and plants. Learned about agriculture and the whole sector. It's how I came about knowing the project, the honey keeping project by SIOC is a poster went out on the social medias, and then I saw the poster. It was sent to me by a friend. I applied. I have always wanted to work with bees and get into beekeeping. Before the project, I had started building my own hives, and I wanted to put them around the farm. So the project, when it came along, it was at a good time because I got to continue the process of wanting to be a beekeeper. So through this program where we are learning about beekeeping, bee biology, beekeeping equipment and how to keep bees in like a whole sphere. So now they've given us 60 hives that we have to put around and try to lure bees and catch bee swarms and then continue to produce our honey. With SIOC and Bukamushi Impact, the partnership that they have is allowing us to not only have the hives, but to, produce the honey and at the later stage sell into the market that Bukamushi Impact has, because it's going to be a bit difficult for us to start our own market. So it's very helpful that we are starting with our foot in the door already, because we already have a market for it. There's a lot of opportunities. Like, we're in a rural area. There's a lot of wild swarms of bees that are in the trees, wherever in the veld. So there's an opportunity for the growth of beekeeping in this community, and having Bukamushi Impact coming in and selling the honey on our behalf, or buying it from us rather, it allows us to move at a faster rate and to grow and to also involve the local community, as there is a lot of people that have farms here. So if they can put some beehives in their farms, we can work together and find a way of harvesting more honey. And that will help us in the long run with empowering the youth, creating employment, and also to impact the community in a very positive way in the long run. I remember when I built my own beehives, it was a bit capital intensive. I needed a lot of money for different parts of wood to, so being able to get 60 hives in this project allows me to, be 2 years ahead of where I would have been if I had started from scratch, by building with old recycled material. So I'm very happy for the opportunity. I'm happy that, there's a long trajectory, or if I can say, there's going to be a long relationship between SIOC and myself and Bukamushi. And there's a lot of opportunities that will come from that. So I'm very happy at the moment to be part of the honey project. The advice I have for the youth is that they need to, learn more about business, know what running a business is, what starting a business is, and also have a vision of where they want to get to, so that by the time they get to SIOC, they are ready for, to become the business people that the projects are going to assist them in. So you can't just wake up and say, go to SIOC and want to get into this thing. You have to have a passion. But I would say to call, the team Yako SIOC, they help a lot, and they want to get the youth in the local communities to be able to come to them and help them, because a lot of us as the youth, we don't know about these programs. I would like to give thanks, and if I can, a shout out to SIOC and to Bukamushi Impact for the time and the effort that they are putting into us, especially me, into being in this project. I think it will allow me to grow as a farmer, and as I said, I do a lot of things in the agricultural sector. So beekeeping is number one on the list as well. So I can get to teach that in the later stage. I can, like we were saying earlier on, empower the youth, get the community involved, because there's a lot of bees around here, and there's a lot of farmers that can also have more beehives on their pieces of land, and we can all benefit from this project. So I would really like to say thank you to SIOC and the team.
Thank you, Program Director. So these are the kind of programs that we want to embark on, where we are able to identify pockets of excellence. This is a guy who's already involved in the industry, and all he wants is that stepping stone, and that's what we're trying to do here. So Chair and Program Director, as I get into the last segment of this presentation, I just want to provide some few highlights on, and I think this is one of the exciting areas where we think we have done very well for our beneficiary communities. And the first project I want to talk about is the Babata's Water project, where we went in there during COVID in a community that was struggling with accessing water. And during COVID, it became dire. It became more important. So we went in there, in partnership with the Khamakara local municipality, led by the mayor, the then mayor, and we agreed that we were going to build infrastructure that would provide capacity for 600 households. And we would reticulate and deliver water to a household yard to 300. So we wanted to do 300 households, but we ended up doing 332, which was impressive for a project like that. And we also want to give a shout out to KSP that came along and also made a contribution towards the project, and especially contributing towards the most critical part, which is the system that monitors usage, quality of the water, because that's quite important for us. Later on, we will share a video just to demonstrate what this infrastructure looks like. Then the other project that we have in the pipeline is a project in Postdin, where we want to support those households to eradicate asbestos material. In fact, we are supporting the municipality to eradicate asbestos altogether in Thabazimbi. Our understanding is that that is the only area that's got a concentration of asbestos material. So this project is meant to, and it's started already, the board has approved it, it's meant to remove asbestos, but also to leave these households in dignified homes. So we're going to patch up and do some repainting work and even add a geyser, a solar geyser, just to bring some cheer in their faces. So it's something that is in the pipeline. But one of the large-scale projects we have done, and we want to continue to do that because we have chosen to align ourselves with the SDGs to build infrastructure that connects communities to economic and social hubs. We just completed the upgrade of a road in Jomorolong. It's a portion of MR 947, which is a regional road, and we have completed it. And I think what's also exciting about this project is that there was a significant participation from local SMMEs that have benefited. So we have seen resources flowing into locals as they build their own infrastructure. There's also a video where we're going to see what this project looks like. But one of the last projects I may want to talk about is our partnership with a number of organizations to prepare our communities to be more resilient to what we now know as one of the big monsters on the universe, which is climate change. What we have done here is to partner with Red Cross, with the climate and the resilience, CDRF, and also we have the South African Weather Services on board to help us to plan for, to assess and plan for disasters and also to respond. So what you're going to see in most of the municipalities is a campaign talking about the disasters that are coming, the fire incidents that we have seen. We're going to talk a lot about raising awareness around that so that people can be more prepared. Flooding, we're getting into the rainy season, we're going to see a lot of flooding, unusual storms that are not, they have not been usual in our history, but we have seen a lot of that happening lately, so we want to prepare our communities. So we've partnered with the municipalities, including Thabazimbi municipality, to ensure that we raise this awareness, we prepare our communities. We partner with the district disaster teams to build their capacity to respond. So that is coming our way. I think the launch was done yesterday, so the campaign is going to start from today onwards, and it's going to be on radio, we're going to be sending out posters, and so on. So let me share with you, or invite you to watch the last two videos on the road as well as the housing project, and as I close, thank you.
Ke Lebogang Batshabane, tulo e re mo go yone ke Lakes Village motlatsa ga masepala wa Jomorolo municipality. Karolo e ke tshamekile mo projecteng e ke ne ke le CLO ya project. So re na le mathata a magolo thata a economy re sa kgone go itlhelela sepe lebaka le gore batho ga ba kgone go dirisa tsela ya rona ka lebaka la gore ne se tsela e tsamaegang tota. Boammaaruri ke gore ke metse e mentsi thata ga o ka ya o shebile motse wa Madibeng FL Klein FL Sisipi wa sheba Betheko Metsilwane Shalaneng Tsoe wa sheba metse e tshwana le Boganapa le Boroe Pompo e connectiwa gantsi ke yona tsela e mare go a ka nna e hukuditse thata especially ga o sheba metse e tshwana le bo Henamflei le bo Madibeng ke metse e nang le di-taxi tse e leng gore di le re letseno le botlhokatiro mo bathong jaanong e kgonne go minimize mathata a tshwanang le a ona ditsela di a tsamaega at least mo e feletseng teng mo Lexi mo ke dikilonyana tse di sa reng sepela go ya ko metsing
leina la ka tsa gaopalelo mo Lexi Sayoko e thusitse re le bantsi di sememitsa mo gae mo Lexi e kgonne gore ha mereko e hedisa botlhokatiro jo bontsi e hira di SMME di hira batho ba batla bereka mokhatseng ga bone so ra kgona jalo ka Sayoko gore go itlhalela yaanong sentse ke le mo merekong le nna
ga ke gopola ga e ne thoma e kgonne go tlhola ditiro tsa batho ba le 39 re na le di-local SMMEs e kgonne go tlhola ditiro mo di-local SMMEs ntse 10 mo e leng gore le tsone di kgonne go hira batho ba ba ka hetang 25 so ka mantswe a mangwe gore gore e kgonne go hokotsa botlhokatiro mo baaging ka kakaretso ke dire sekai se sengwe jaaka difantisi e kgonne go le re ditiro tsa difantisi gautshwane le batho because ba kgona go e dirisa bonolo go tswa mo go ya kurumane go na le dilo tse dintsi like bo SABC tsa brewery e kgonne go busetsa dilo tse dintsing jalo gautshwane mo bathong so e go kuditse tota le botlhokatiro mo go rona le nna tota ke ne ke sa dire ga jaana ke ne ke dira ke na le selekanyo sa ngwaga tse 2 le half ke dira e kgonne go dira sengwe mo botshelo jwa
tiro e ke dira mo projecteng e ke tiro ya go tsenya fence go tswa go Pepsi go tla go tsena mo Lexi jaanong ka ba bone maburu ba bone re ke dirile tiro e ntle hale ba bona gore gape ke motho ke berekang ka monako ba nnile mmereko gape wa go tsenya di-board tse re beng mo go tsone tse maikutlo ka kakaretso ke itumela thata mo go Sayoko because Sayoko ga e thusi di-SMME hela le go dikolong Sayoko ya thusa bana ba ba tsenang sekolo so ke the way ka Sayoko e thusang ka teng le gore ntile ha ke o ne Sayoko ka re ke kgola go nwa metsi go lalong ka Sayoko
ke tsa tshwanela go leboga Sayoko go menagane tota gore mo maphelong a rona e hetotse maphelo re ikutlwa re le motlotlo ka lebaka la Sayoko re ikutlwa le rona e kete re tshela botshelo jo bo botoka nna like seka ntse re sa kgone go gogela kurumane ka nako mo leng o kgonang go a kurumane ka yone mara go ne yana ke kgona go tswala go nna ka 6 o'clock ke ya go ja go kurumane la ka motho o dula mo Motibistata ke boa ke tla ga ke tla go robala ke babalesegile so e re hegoletse e dirile maphelo a rona botlhou thata gore ra ikutlwa re le motlotlo tota ka Sayoko ga ke itse gore re ka romela ditebogo tse dintsi ya go Sayoko mara re leboga Sayoko go menagane re le community ya Lexi le di-community tse di mabapi ka seo e re diretseng sone ene re sentse re na le tshologelo ya gore Sayoko ga ya helela ga e sentse e tlile go tswelela e dira sengwe se se hetang se so re lebogile go menagane tota
Ek is Norman Vries. Dis my vrou, Wendy Vries. En ek het 2 kinders, Alfonso en Jalen Vries. En 'n meisiekind wat by ons bly, wat ons aangeneem het. Haar naam is Elvina Makatong. En heiliglik ons bly in Olifantshoek, Velgeleë. Die ou huis wat ons voorheen gebly het, voor die nuwe gebou was 'n 2-room huis. Net 'n slaap area en 'n kombuis area. Dit was al gewees. Kom maar begin ek by die huisomstandighede. Die mure het baie krakke gehad. Dit was weet nie waar jaar voorheen gebou nie. Dit was 'n baie ou huis gewees. En die dak was 'n asbesdak. Ek dink dit was seker die hele omstandighede hoekom SAIOG besluit het hulle gaan kom nuwe huise kom bou in die area om die hele asbestakke te verwyder.
Die huis is soos wat hy nou is. As die omstandighede vir my baie makliker, want ons het 'n sitkamer nou en 'n kombuis. Ons het 'n zink waar ek skottels kan was. Die badkamer is een kant. Ons het nou privaatheid want dit is 2 kamers. Kinders het hulle se een kamer en ons het ons een kamer een kant. Daar's nou meer en ons kan makliker beweeg. Hy is nie meer so klein nie, hy's groot.
Ons het nou water ook in die huis wat die vorige huisie ingehet het nie. Ons warm water en koue water. Badkamer dieselfde, net soos in die kombuis ook. En dis waar ek inkom by die warm water, ons het 'n geyser bo. Dis solar geyser en ek gebruik nie weer so baie op elektrisiteit nie. Omrede dis 'n sonpaneel geyser wat bo is. En dit maak dit meer die lewe meer geriefliker met die huidige huis wat sy ook gebou het. En net so met die draad ook aan die buitekant. Hulle het nuwe ou draad is ook afgebreek en daar's nuwe draad wat opgesit is met mooi veiligheidshekke en soos die hek kan ek sluit. Soos ek wat gisteraand nagskof gewerk het, dan weet ek my familie is veilig. Want ek kan dit toesluit dan is hulle veilig in die hart.
Ek is mevrou Hoorniet van de Ben, plaaslik hier op de Ben, bly mo lekker hier. In 80, toe bly ek in daai huisie wat oop gewees het, maar ek was dankbaar vir die Here, want ek het 'n skuiling oor my kop gehad. En daar was baie probleme, maar ek het nie die probleme kop toe gevat nie. Ek het maar gebly daar, in die huisie. Die ou huis was 'n asbesdak. Toe breek hulle 2094 toe hy af, toe kry ons nou hierdie huis. Hierin het geyser, hy die toilet, hy die 2 kamers, en alles het hy vir my gedoen. En ek is dankbaar en bly vir hulle.
Ek kan net vir sy ook sê baie dankie, want ons was nie in die voorreg om vir ons so mooi huis te bou nie. Hulle het dit vir ons gekom doen, daarom is ek dankbaar. Vir sy ook, ek sê dankie.
Ek moet vir sy ook net sê baie dankie, wat hy gedoen het aan ons. Ons het nie geweet ons gaan die goed kry nie, maar die Here se wil, toe gee die Here vir ons die huise. En ek sê vir sy ook nog dankie. Ek is dankbaar en bly vir die huis.
Good day, my name is Enrico Klute, Managing Director of Rix Electrical. SAIOG absorbed us into this infill housing project where it went first, eventually out on tender. After tendering phase, we didn't make it through for the GB. So they absorbed us into another pro-skill development project, presenting our documents, and after that, presenting our documents, they selected companies who documents were in order and competent enough to be absorbed into the project. The project was this infill housing project where we are standing currently today. As Rix Electrical, you have to get 5 houses out of the 90 houses was built from SAIOG. So my 5 houses, I've built it from scratch. And this is one house which I'm standing today on, which was built from scratch. There were a development in the community also. People were hired, people were given skills. We did share it. My company employed 12 people for that period. In the 12 people I've hired, it was 2 ladies, and the rest were gents. Artisans, I did have 5 artisans and 7 general workers. We had also a skills development project with NHBRC, NHBRC, and CIDB. So the skills development program, they put us to training, how are you starting to do a structure? How are you building a house? That was the part of NHBRC. The CIDB structure was how to compile your documents for going on tendering phase and stuff. Due to this project magnitude and the skills which we developed on this project, some of the subcontractors did also absorb Rix Electrical to go and assist them in the band to do the electrical work in the band. Even the main contractor SK also absorbed us as Rix Electrical to assist us with most of their small works which they can. The magnitude of work was too many for them, so we assist them also in that. But we appreciate what SAIOG did for us, and we are glad they are going the extra mile with the host communities. SIOC did improve us for me as a small SMME. Currently now, as big people say, we are going to the big league. So now I'm currently sitting at the 3 GB. So it was an advanced love for me, for the project which SIOC gave me, because it would have been difficult for me to love my CIDB grading. But due to this project, I've managed to complete it successfully, and now I have a 3 GB by CIDB. So currently, we appreciate what SIOC did for us as SMMEs, and I hope it doesn't end there. So from me as the managing director of Rix Electrical, we appreciate what SIOC did for us, and I hope it doesn't stop here. It do for all the local surrounding communities. So thanks, SIOC. May God bless.
My name is Kelonelo Editupa. I'm a ward councillor here in Barbatas. I'm from Hamahara local municipality. The help the solar park and SIOC CDT have brought in this community is a very huge help, because we've been here for 12 years without water. So really, I think our cry now is gonna end.
My name is Ricardo Unyadichumangwakwe. I'm a beneficiary here in Barbatas. I'm also one of the committee member here in Barbatas. We are very grateful for SIOC CDT to bring water here. Before, we were struggling with water. We were getting the water from the tank and it was far. So now we get the water from the tap inside the yard. So we were happy here in Barbatas.
The community feels so excited about that project, because now people can plant, do gardening. Before, people didn't have that opportunity to do gardening here. So people of Barbatas, community of Barbatas are very excited about that project. Even our animals at the farm, they've been suffering, as now we are facing lots of field fire. So at least because of this project, it benefits even our farming.
Here in Barbatas, we did benefit. We are grateful because some of us, we get jobs from this project, and the main contractor, he did hire people here in Barbatas, and we are happy. Seriously, we are happy because now we are drinking water, clean water. Even now, I'm still working at this project. I have never received any complaint about the water. Anyone who complained the water is not nice or drinkable. So seriously, we are happy. We are grateful for SIOC CDT for the job that they have done for Barbatas.
The total capacity of water supply that SIOC CDT supply is 600 households. But now, as a community of Barbatas, we are excited. Before we have already connected 430 households. A word of appreciation that I can say to SIOC CDT and Solar Park. They have done a huge job for us here in Barbatas, because it's been a big crisis here. So we really appreciate what you have done for this community of Barbatas.
Thank you for your patience. I know this video is a bit of a long story. We have this motto that says we prefer to speak through our actions than our words, and we think that these testimonies from the mouths of our beneficiaries tell our story better. But I do realize that it's hot here, and we have taken a bit of your time, but thank you for your patience. I'm just going to speed through the few slides. Basically, what we wanted to do here was to tell our 10-year story. In conclusion, the growth that we have experienced. This is our revenue growth. You will see what Tanya was talking about in 15, 16, and 17. So we have lived through what is called in mining a bust period, and we're quite grateful that we have been able to structure, with the help of the board, quite a resilient operating model that will see us through even the peaks and troughs of income. We also have grown just the size of the trust fund, or what we call a net asset value. You will see that in 2014 we were just shy of 3, we are now at about 7. And what is also interesting and notable is that we have tried quite a bit. You've seen the slide with Tanya. The little pig there is our non-Kumba dividend income. So we've grown that a bit, and we're showing that we are quite deliberate in trying to diversify and de-risk SIOC CDT from relying strictly on Kumba. And it's not an easy thing to do, but it's a key tenet of our strategy. This story is just the maturity in the development of how we understand our mandate. At the start, we were very much concerned about preserving our public benefit status with SARS, and we were setting out what we wanted to do. So that's what was preoccupying us. We have grown quite a bit. We've been a little bit mature in sort of fine-tuning what it is that we do. We have incorporated the Sustainable Development Goals, as we spoke about last year, and Tao went a bit into what that means for us. So I can safely say that there's quite a lot to be proud of in the journey, and we're particularly grateful to the partnership and the grace that we've received from our communities. In fact, reflecting on our journey specifically in this municipality in the days of the forum to Kudisang to where we are now, and the difficult conversations that we've had and relationships that we've had to end, and just the patience that you've had in understanding our story and why we had to go through the iterations and the changes that we had to go through. So we're quite grateful for that. We're also grateful for the support and guidance and leadership of the board that has guided us through very, very difficult times at SIOC CDT as management. And lastly, from the team, the SIOC CDT team, I think one of the things that we take for granted is that this is a team of young people who are dedicated, who are passionate, and not necessarily long in the tooth experts in community development. There are people who are trying, there are people who've made mistakes, but what sets them apart is that they are truly committed, and their commitment comes from the heart. And I think in this sphere or in this industry, passion and personal commitment to development makes all the difference. And I'm very grateful to have been privileged to lead this team over the years. And I'm grateful for the opportunity that I've been given by you, the community, and to the board for having the trust and the confidence in the stewardship. And I'm quite grateful to the team for the resilience and the persistence that they have just to stick to what it is that we set out. So with that, I'm especially proud, and I'm grateful. So what we're going to do now is allow for the roving mic. The chairman for the day, I think, has some microphones that he'll send around so that we can get into the important part of the day, which is the question and answer session. And then post that, then we'll go into refreshments. There's a link. The guys that are on the online platforms will also get a chance to ask questions. So we'll have people in, SIOC CDT people with roving mics. Shimi will come and explain how that is going to work. But from me, thank you very much for your patience. Thank you very much for your attention. I look forward to an interactive session now. And we will be back next year talking to you, telling you what we're up to in our various platforms. We thank you very much for the partnership.
Thank you, CEO. They say a leader is somebody who knows the way, who can show you the way, and also goes the way with you. I really want to thank the CEO for showing us the way. We are where we are now as SIOC CDT because of you having the knowledge, having the wisdom to see which direction we need to take. And as you said, with the help of the board, the support that you got from the board, SIOC CDT has managed to achieve what it has achieved. And in the words of the pastor, if at any point in time we forget that there was once a mine in Thabazimbi, SIOC CDT will remind you. The project it undertakes will remind you, and the impact that those projects realize will also remind you. Now we're going to enter into the question and answer session, and I want us to do this in a very orderly manner, and I can see it's going to happen in a very orderly manner. One, I want to encourage people. I know some of you have got a lot of questions that you want to ask. I want to encourage you to limit the number of questions you are going to ask to 3 only. If you have 6, just cut the other 3 and remain with 3. And if you can, please do your best to keep your questions short. That will allow other people also to ask questions, because I can see the hall is full, so there will be people who also want to ask questions. Be considerate when you ask your questions. And please be respectful to others when you do that, and I'm expecting that to happen. We will be respectful towards others when we ask questions. And the last one, if you have a question, we ask that you raise your hand, and then the people holding the mics will identify you and come to you. And once you get the mic, you can stand up, introduce yourself, and raise your questions. Thank you. We will take a round of, say, 5 questions, and then allow the CEO and the team to respond, and then again take another round if there's any. Can I see those hands, if there's any questions? Okay, I can see a hand at the back. We can start. And another hand here, yes? All right, you can start there, Spokazi. And the people on the online platforms, you can also pose your questions. I believe you can type them in, and they will be brought to the front for us to respond to them. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Thabazimbi, and I reside here in this location. I actually, during the slideshow, I was paying attention to the enterprise development. I have 3 questions regarding that. My first question is that how do we get access as young people to be part of the enterprise program? That's my first question. And then my second question is what documentation is required to that program? And my third question is that, is there any active enterprise program in Thabazimbi currently? I've spent the whole year, I'm not aware of any program that is active with regards to the enterprise development program. Thank you.
Next one.
Good morning, Program Director. I'm Abel Molehabangwe from Itsosemba Tsofe. That's now a program for the elderly of Thabazimbi. In the past, we have given our needs to representatives of SIOC locally. But we don't hear any answers or anything, because we gave them our needs, which is the first one, a conducive home for the elderly in Thabazimbi, where we are staying now. We are staying in a dilapidated old municipal building. So we have asked to be helped by building for us a conducive structure. That's the first question. The other thing is, I've attended many roadshows which were called on by SIOC. But what we hear, I only hear about the young people, maybe for getting better education and all that, but nothing for the elderly of Thabazimbi. That's all I've got. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good day, everyone. My name is Kagiso Mphela from Banaba Mphela Agricultural Cooperative. We were also got an invitation, and we really appreciate and see the work that is done by Sioko. And we are more interested into beehive. So we would like to see ourselves one day we are a part of this program. We have started a project around here in Thabazimbi. So we will really appreciate if we can get an opportunity to do the beehive. And also I saw Sioko is doing much on health and awareness. In our area, the clinic was just closed. They are relying on a mobile clinic, but this comes after a long time. So if we can at least get an assistance on the mobile clinic, that will be much helpful. Thanks.
Thank you. I think those are the three. We have another one.
Good day, everyone. My name is Lucas Matebula from Thabazimbi Business Unit. My question is one, and I think it's not for the first time I'm going to ask this question, but I feel like I must ask it again today. To CEO and the team of SIOC, I heard the presentation from the CEO and others, and then they showed that they do really have the best interest of our local community, including the SMMEs. So, CEO, I want to maybe to clarify me, because I know that there is programs or projects that are being funded by SIOC. And as the local SMMEs, we want to know or understand what are you doing, because these people, they are coming here to Thabazimbi. When they come here, they come with their own, when developing or supporting our local SMMEs, they come with their own preferred candidates from where they are coming from. So now I want you to clarify me that on how are you going to deal with this problem, because we want them, when they come here, at least if there is a skill that is available here in Thabazimbi, they must consider that skill. We are not happy for them coming here and they come with their preferred candidate from wherever they are coming from. And then, as you showed on the stats that when Tau was presenting from the states, the TB states that are affected, in every 100 people, 11 are affected by TB. They are affected because of this mining environment. So we are directly infected. So we want to be also equally so. We want to be empowered here in Thabazimbi. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon, SIOC. My name is Eric Motlake. I'm in the
diesel and hydrocarbon facility management and product supply. I wanted to know, in terms of the development or the ED support, what are the limits in terms of the funding, and what are if the depot or a development will be a project that will be considered to be supported. But I needed to know mainly in the limits and what is it that can be done.
So I think we can respond to the questions that have been posed. I will also bring the ones that are coming from online to you, for you to respond to those as well. Yeah, you can go up there.
Thank you for the questions. All right, I'll start with the ED. We have the Thabazimbi hub, which is a resource center, which is where you can go and get all the information that you will need to access our enterprise development programs in Thabazimbi. I'm going to ask that, I think I can see people that work in the hub. Please just make sure that May gets the directions or the address so that you can visit there and you can get all the information that you need. But we do have a few programs running in Thabazimbi. We've got Khodiso, which I'll talk about later. We've got Business in a Box, which you've seen our red containers all over Thabazimbi. There's the Growth Fund, there's the Relief Fund. And obviously all of that is managed from the Thabazimbi hub. So I'm hoping that you can be able to access that. Home for the aged and programs for the elderly. So as we refine our processes, we do identify priorities that we take to the board. So it would be remiss of me to stand here and make any promises, except to say, and is going to make sure that that kind of need is considered. I do not agree, though, that there's nothing that we are doing for the elderly. Perhaps a home is a specific issue. But our health programs, our enterprise development programs are not exclusive. The elderly can access those. But certainly, we've heard and we've noted your concern. I can't quite speak for the board. There are processes that we've explained many times that get us to an idea and to an approved project. I've also noted that that there's an active beehive community in Thabazimbi. It's quite a complex project, and the success factor is that we had Bukamuso that already had a structure to on-sell the honey that is produced. So obviously, as the partnership grows, we'll consider whether, and they are based they have a center in Taung, which is in the Northern Cape, which made it easier for us to strike the partnership. But it is a program that we want to scale up. And certainly, we are looking at possibilities in Thabazimbi. So I think that in the fullness of time, we'll be able to get that going. I'm not sure where the clinic is, but Ausradi is here. She will certainly come and talk to you to find out that, and maybe we can see what needs to happen with just, more visits in the area, especially where there's a clinic that has been shut down. Dadema Tebula, we are very specific in our contracting for local content. And if we have an infrastructure project, we do make it a condition for our contractors to subcontract. I don't want to put you in the spot, but I do know that at Mabokhopedi you provided the security services. That's the kind of thing that we like to do, and we encourage it. Funding. This is quite a tricky one, Dr. Mohlaka, because what we are not allowed to do is to provide business funding. What we are allowed to do is to assist our beneficiaries with accessing funding. So it's quite a nuance, because we don't have a credit license and the SARS specifically prevents us from being a business funder. We have relationships with what is called development funding institutions, DFIs, your NEF, your IDC, and maybe to an extent other private non-government organizations. But in our project Khodiso, we are right there to understand where you are on the growth stage in your business plan, and if you're now funding ready, what we can do to facilitate it. So things that we could potentially do is provide you with a service to complete the application. Maybe there is a need for a little bit of collateral, maybe from a grant point of view, but what we can't actually do is to issue a business loan. So that's where we've had to explain ourselves quite a lot, but we certainly are very active in facilitating access to fund, and there is. And we understand what the hurdles are to accessing this funding. There could be issues of a credit listing, there could be issues of just the ability to have a collateral, there could be, you don't have land or you don't have an income. Guys that are into franchising, for instance, don't have that deposit that is required. And so there's a lot of things that we understand, but we are learning the space. Whilst we can't give out a loan for you to go and stock up, we can provide a service to deal with the hurdles between you and funding, because development funding is available. It's just the hurdles to access it. And that's what Project Khodiso is about. Okay. As far as a depot is concerned, I think the same answer. We can have a conversation about the business plan around it. And unless it is a investment opportunity, we are quite unlikely to take something as complex as a fuel facility because of the capital that's required and the complexity of it. But of course, in the business development side of things, as you get the idea from ideation to tangible feasibility, we're happy to walk that road with you. It could also be providing access to an expert that can help you design your business plan properly or your funding plan properly. We could pay for that, but we're not going to, give you money to start a depot because it just is not feasible, and it's not our core skill. Okay, are there any questions on the line?
Socials, but I would like us to go to the radio stations that we are streaming live to. I'm gonna start in the Northern Cape with Kurara FM. Are there any questions from your side?
There are no questions from Kurara FM.
Thank you so much. I'm gonna now go to Waterbeck Studio. Are there any questions from Waterbeck?
There are no questions from Waterbeck Studios.
Thank you so much. Now we can move on and take another round of questions if there are any from the floor. By a show of hands. Okay, I see there's a hand to my left, your right.
Thank you very much. It's Sipho Benga here, a resident of Thabazimbi. We are seeing the work that you are doing and we are very grateful. However, it's more of a request than a question. That in all the projects that we have highlighted, especially in the health sector, can you also beef up on the mental health issue, especially when it comes to our young people? On that one, we live in a society of many depressed young people. So if we can just beef up on that, it would be a great help, especially especially for our young people. That's mine. Thank you.
One at the back. There was this gentleman who asked that.
Good day, everyone. How are you? My name is Ruth Makai. I stay at Raputi. So I'm living in a very disadvantaged area, and we have a number of unemployed youth and adults, and most of them, they come from farms. That's where they grew up, and they have farming skills, but now they don't have anything to do at home. So is there any way SAYOK can come to our community and identify that kind of people, give them, there's a piece of land at Raputi, like where they can do farming and produce different variety of crops to sell in order for them to sustain their life. So is there any way SAYOK can come to a community and help those people to do something with their lives? And at Raputi, we would also like to be beneficiaries of SAYOK, because so far SAYOK hasn't done anything for us. And it's not everyone who can come to Hodisang Hap. Yes, it's not everyone who can come there. Is there any way that SAYOK can come to our community and identify such people? Thank you.
Okay, oh, there's a hand there.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Katie Wendlovu. I'm a resident of Thabazimbi. I have a request. We are happy we see that project of the business in the box. The challenge that we see, or what I've noticed, it was for a young people, 18 to 35. And most of the time, we've got young adult women that are facing domestic violence in Thabazimbi. And they don't have anything to do, because most of the programs, even when our government are hiring, is 18 to 35. So it's very difficult for those people that are reaching 40 years up. And they are the one who always face challenges to their houses. So we request SAYOK for in future, if there are some of the business like this, maybe involve women, because some of the business in a box are not working, but there are some of the women who are going to use those projects. Thank you.
Thank you. We have a question from Waterbeck Studios. Can we take the question?
I just want to introduce my first guest in the studio here, one of our community members. His name is Ideal, and he wants to know how can he become an entrepreneur and how can SAYOK help him. Here he is on the line. I'm just putting him on.
Thank you.
Speak.
Hello.
Speak.
My name is Ideal, and I want to know how can I become an entrepreneur and how can SAYOK help me?
Thank you. Are there any further questions from your side?
Yes, there's the next lady is iTunes. Just bear with me. I'll put her on iTunes. You can raise your question, please.
Thank you.
Hello.
Hello, we can hear you.
Hello. Lebitso la ka ke nna Tumi.
Just raise your question to me. Raise your question. What do you want to ask?
Hello, ka diaparo tsa bana ba sekolo.
Di rang diaparo tsa bana ba sekolo Tumi?
Ke ntse ka koba tsa ngwana tsa sekolo.
Okay.
And then I've got the last one is Sandra. Just hold for Sandra. I'll put her on. Sandra.
Hello.
Hello, Sandra.
Nna lebitso la ka ke nna Sandra. Nna ke nyaka go botsisa gore le ka nthusa yang gore nka starta business ya ka.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Is that all?
It's all, sir. Thank you.
Thank you so much. The CEO will respond just now. Thank you. CEO.
Okay. Thank you for this. I'm sure these are the last questions then. Okay. All right. Sipone, mental health and is it substance abuse? Or is that? Yes. No. I just wanted to get the names right because I keep saying, we have an approved project covering mental health, especially for Banaba School. We are looking at other proposals, but you will hear about it. Just keep watch on our socials. I don't want to go into the detail now, but we certainly is an area that we are covering. We have quite a substantial project that the board approved in the third quarter that is covering that area, but certainly more needs to be done there. So it's something that is close to our hearts. The questions that are suggestions and requests, all I can say is that we've heard you, and those that have got business related, like how can I be an entrepreneur, how can SIOC help, we have the Thabazimbi Hub, and we're encouraging you to visit the Thabazimbi Hub, to sit down with our hub manager. He's here, and engage with him and to give you the options that are there and the sort of programs that SIOC CDT is running so that you can identify the one that is mostly applicable to what your needs are. So we certainly have that area covered, and we have a vast array of partners that are co-located with us in the hub, and you'll find that your answers can be responded to. So the enterprise development officials are here, and you're certainly welcome to engage with them further after the session. On the issue of business in a box, Mayor, you're right that the age cutoff did operate a little bit unfairly, but it was a program that we are doing in partnership with Coca-Cola, as you know, and it had a framework. We take on board your suggestion on vulnerable women suffering from GBV-related issues, and we'll take that on board, and we do have broad aspirations to be active there as well. So you'll certainly be hearing from us, and Oshadi's here. I'm putting her on the spot. She's sitting here, and speak to her before you go. Okay. All right. All right.
TV question that, what are we doing to?
I think the issue of TB was covered in the presentation, how we are tackling it in our mobile health unit with the screening net, and certainly there'll be more information on that. So it's not an area that we're not looking at all. So we just have to go back to the information that we've given. But we certainly, it's a focus area in our health program. I hope that covers that.
Thank you.
Thank you for the questions.
Thank you, CEO. And thank you very much for all the questions that have been asked. And do we have a last one? Okay, CEO, can you allow me just to take 2 more questions and then we are done? It seems like there's follow-ups.
Sorry, you asked a question about Raputi. Yes, my response to that was the questions that were really not questions but requests. We note them and we will follow up. So before you go, someone will come and ask you specifics so that we can plan to come and see what you're talking about. What I can't do, and I'm not allowed to do, is to stand here and say, yeah, we're going to build. No, I can't do that. I still have to go through these people here. All right.
Okay, thank you, CEO. And if you do have questions, because we are still going to be around, you can interact with some of our staff members around here. We are wearing these branded shirts, and we should be able to answer most of your questions if you do have any. And I want to thank you once more for your cooperation during the question and answer session. We have come really to the end of today's Stakeholder Day program. And to thank you, I would like to bring to the stage, or to call upon to the stage, the mayor of our local municipality, the mayor of Thabazimbi, Honorable Judy Mohabi, to come and say a vote of thanks to us. Mayor Judy, can you give her a round of applause as she ascends to the stage?
Why can't you get me? Okay. Okay, thanks, Program Director Ntate Shimi Matomo, my colleague, councillors present here, Councillor Sisuma, Councillor Siloponso, Councillor Manyama, Councillor Lirumo, Chairperson of the Board of Trustees, members present here, executive management and officials of SIOC CDT, all stakeholders present, sector departments, in his absentia, Pastor Mokweng, ladies and gentlemen, good day. Dumela. On behalf of the Thabazimbi local municipality, allow me to express our sincere appreciation to all guests and stakeholders for taking their time and be part of this annual SIOC CDT Stakeholder Day. A gathering of this kind is very important in facilitating an open dialogue and discusses the challenges or stumbling blocks hindering the potential growth of your business, as well as presenting your annual performance reports, updates, and development carried out throughout the year. As mentioned by previous speakers earlier, all challenges, inputs, concerns, and successes were sharply noted. As the municipality, we are always ready, and we welcome all engagements with our stakeholders, irrespective of our challenges. Let us all continue to work together for the benefit of our own communities. I would like to once more thank all the participants for making this event a success. Without your involvement, this event would have not been possible. In conclusion, ke rata ke re ke le leboge SIOC, ke leboge ditiro tse le di direlang baduli ba rena le fetola le maphelo a bona. Le rena baduli, ge batho ba re dila dilo tse dintle, le rona a re ba thuse, let us support them. When they call the community engagement meetings, let us attend. Go bontsha lerato sona selo se. So keep doing the good things to our community. Ka go rialo ke re ke a le leboga. I thank you all.
Come this way. Oh, okay. Ke a leboga Repilane ka go nthusa. Mayor ona sta re tlo go mfaina gore ha ke mothuse gore apa go loke sentle. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you once more. As I said, we've come to the end and the mayor has done the vote of thanks. I'm going to call to the front Sipokazi to give us a few announcements on what is going to happen beyond the desk program. We've got some refreshments and all of that. She's going to give us a lowdown of what's going to happen. Yeah.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Sipokazi. I just want to make a few announcements regarding what's going to happen from here, as Shimi has said. It won't be a lot. I think Shimi has mentioned that we've come to the end of the program, and what's going to happen is we have a few refreshments that we're going to serve. We are going to request you to remain seated. What we will do, we will direct you to get up and go collect your refreshments. The serving station will still be at the back on my right-hand side. the tables will be laid, and we will, through Shimi, announce, or maybe the ushers will come to your table to request you to stand, so that we don't have everyone going at the back at the same time. But there's enough for everyone, so just be patient and let's just follow the instructions that will be given. And thank you very much.